Hello and welcome to 2102 Buena Vista Drive here in the Camarillo Heights. This is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath home, full baths. It's 2,925 square feet of living space, and then it's all situated on top of over 1.5 acres of land. Part of that is an avocado orchard that is still working, still gets harvested. It's 103 trees in total, and we're saying this in the evening time because that's truly when this property shines. So you can already see the amazing sunset in our background, how, the home and all its lights glow. What we'll do is we'll go around the property. After that, we'll go inside, and I want to show you at least what it could be as not only a primary residence, but also if you were to purchase this as an investment, how special it is, all the potential that is here. So come with me, we'll go check out the orchards first. So we're looking away from the house right now, and there are 2 main points. There's one right here for entrance into the avocado orchard. Beyond this gate, you would come in through the side at the end of the street. There's one right here at the end of the driveway. And then if you went to the back of the house over that way, there is an entrance into the orchard that goes down into an area, which we'll see, that's for raised garden beds. And, you could have your veggie garden. It's all protected and enclosed, which is, amazing, especially when you have to think about birds and things like that. So the way this lot is set up is it's more of like a right triangle. So we are going to one of the back corners here. You can kind of see how the trail goes through this little wash right here, all the way to the back over there. If you were to be working this orchard, it's nice to obviously have a nice trail where you could take the ATV, take a Polaris, or whatever you want to do to get around here. But at least it's easier to get through. Make sure you're checking on all the irrigation system, everything like that. The best part about the orchard is it gives opportunity. You don't have to utilize all of it. You could still use a section of this. You'd obviously have to go through the county, see what it would cost for a lot split, see how feasible it is. But there is an entrance to the property that is from Catalina/West Loop Drive. And at that point, you could have somebody at least enter in the property from a totally different street. They don't need to come from Catalina. So we are towards the other end. So this would be the far corner right here. Back that way is towards the entrance of the home. Here is where you have the enclosure for the raised garden beds. Let's go in here. You can see it's all enclosed, really thoughtfully designed. You have the drip irrigation. Each row is easily accessible. So right now what we'll do is we'll come back through the backyard and I will show you the wraparound deck. So here we are. We're overlooking where the raised garden beds are. You could see you have your path down this way. If you wanted to do some more gardening, you could do that over here. So there's plenty going on over here. Definitely harkens back to what the Camarillo Heights has been known for, which is agriculture. And so now we are at the backyard. So here's your lawn. The master is up here. You have the deck for the amazing view. Really nice to have leading into the home. You have a ramp from this side, stairs up this way, which you can see that's the beginning of the wraparound deck. Nice to have an awning right here as well into one of the rooms. So that is a bedroom. That's the first bedroom. Second bedroom right here also has an entrance point. That is to the living room. New AC system as well. And here's my favorite part. And this is why I call this place the Koi Huerta, because it has a koi pond. Let's sit here, just take it in. You can hear the fountain, obviously, so peaceful. Something that, you come home to that, you're at a safe place. You can enjoy the peace and quiet of home and get that zen. So here's the entrance. You would come through, if you had guests, they would come through the main front door or front gate, go over a bridge, and come in to the home. But I'm gonna keep going, and we're gonna see the rest of this wraparound deck. And right here would be the kitchen. And that's just another entrance into the home hallway. Stairs go up to the primary. Over there goes to the garage, the 2-car garage, which is oversized. It's huge. You have this lovely paver driveway, gated access. This is unincorporated county area, so this is a dirt road that then turns into gravel. And then here we have a nice terrace. Got the flagstone with the DG, drought tolerant landscaping. You have your pergola here and your seating. Back over to where I originally showed you. The back RV access. You can see the neighbor has one as well. And that would be the other entrance into the orchard. So turning back into the property, if you had an RV, easy parking here on the gravel, a boat, whatever. 30 feet, doesn't matter. You got plenty of space. You can do it here on the gravel, or you could do it right next to the carport. That's another thing too. You got this carport and a 2-car garage. So your daily driver can go here. Any collectibles, they can go in there. You could keep things tidy too, because you have this storage space. And then that way the garage can be kept a little bit cleaner. All of the stuff that you're using to maybe service the orchard, that can all be kept in there, or whatever, however you feel you want to do it. Now we'll go inside the home. So we're entering the home. We come in to what feels more mid-century modern, especially with these exposed beams. You have the solar tubes there. There's a skylight as you enter. You have the stacked stone fireplace. And then you have the koi pond perfectly framed right here with your 3-panel slider. And because it's double pane, you can't quite hear it, but if you just open it up, this could be what you're listening to while you're just enjoying a book, have the fire going, whatever's appropriate. With the with the exposed beam ceilings, because it's so symmetrical, it definitely gives me more of, you could dress it up like mid-century modern. But as you come through into the dining room space, it becomes a bit more eclectic. You have this Tiffany-style lamp, plenty of space for a large dining table. You have the built-ins here. All these cabinets are inset as well. Beautiful backsplash. Has almost like a turquoise color, but not like too in your face. The bluer tint is a bit darker. You have your pot filler over the range. And these are Frigidaire appliances here. The fridge and your dishwasher, those are Bosch. You have the farmhouse sink, but stainless. And then it has more of that indoor, outdoor flow to how you could do dining. Say you have guests and you guys want to eat outside, but there's still prep and things like that that need to go on inside before serving. You can open up each one of these windows. There's a bar right here where things could be set out easily. I mean, I never worked at a McDonald's or anything like that. I was a server though, so that would be a nice piece to have. So now we're coming through the hallway. The pantry would be here. Pull out shelving as well, which is excellent, very functional. And you even have that too. And some of these, yep. It's a little tough to be doing a camera and doing that at the same time. But your pots and pans have deep areas to be put away, not a ton of clutter. So through the hallway, there's a jack+jill bathroom right here. I love this maroon-burgundy style tile, especially it being so prevalent, going floor to ceiling in the shower. Dresses it up really nice. Let's get this light on. Okay. And then you have a skylight to make sure that it's always well lit, even if these are not on. I'll take you first into the smaller of the two bedrooms that are downstairs. Still a huge size. You have the built-ins here for your bookshelves. You have some more book built-ins there. But really the biggest piece is having the French doors open up with the cupboard or with the awning out on to the wraparound deck. And for that can be a separate entrance if you wanted, depending how your living situation is set up. You also have huge walk-in closet. And now we will go into the downstairs suite. So this has an attached bathroom. Huge, with an amazing view. All the way across the Pleasant Valley. On a clear day, the fog's rolling in, but you can see all the way out there to the Pacific Ocean. There is Conejo Mountain right there. Get some of that cloud cover. And then two closets, yours and mine. And they're deep, really good space in there. Basically an entertainment center, vanity underneath. I think. Yeah, it's impressive to have that. So then we go into the bathroom. Tastefully done. Good workmanship too. This isn't, crummy grouting or anything. It's all done up to stuff. Sometimes you come into these places, the grout isn't holding up well, and that's not the case here. Quartz countertop. Storage linen cabinets here. And then this goes out to the deck as well. So another entrance opportunity. So that's the downstairs rooms, at least. Take you back through the kitchen. We come through this hallway. And the hallway, you could have more pantry space there if you wanted to. Or just, have some pieces of artwork, things that'll show nicely. This is what I would consider the mud room. If you were out servicing the orchard, you come through this way, have your coats and all of that here, boots potentially here, maybe some pictures. Essentially mudroom, because then you've got the laundry room right next to it. Huge laundry room. I got one of these in my house. I have an older build as well, so these are the small things, you know. Having these little small things like the iron board built in, which they don't do anymore, is it's just a nice touch. Obviously the French doors going outside too. If you had all of this open during spring or summer, the breeze is fantastic as it sweeps across the foothills here. So we're coming into the garage, 2-car garage, plenty of shelving space, another fridge if you need it. That goes out to the carport. But if you're a creative or an artist, this could totally be a studio. I'm not sure about sound quality, but you can maybe make it into a recording studio as well if you're a musician. Primarily I say that because you have the carport and plenty of parking outside. So you would come in there, you got plenty of storage underneath the stairs. That's where all my Christmas decorations would go. And then again, you could come in that way if you wanted to. All right, we'll go upstairs to the main attraction. And this is looking up at the foothills of the Camarillo Heights. Really gorgeous at this time of day. So, double doors here opening up to your master bedroom. Huge. Little things already set up. You have lower light switches here if you're reading right here, but your partner isn't. It's very nice to have those. Your view. And again, on a clear day, get it just right. It's something. And this right here, if you're a work from home person, the office space. Got your corner C-suite right here. Obviously the view, everything's plumbed in that you would need to work comfortably and peacefully from home. And then this walk-in closet, pretty incredible. Plenty of space there. And then yours and mine vanities. Soaking tub, but it is jetted. And then you can essentially call this a transom window if you wanted to, even though that would be the true one. View, again, especially with the palm tree perfectly framed right there. Just think about mornings, getting ready. Would be a problem for me. Hope it wouldn't be for you. You have the steam shower. Lovely tiling. You can use that obviously to pull off, have a little bit better of a spritz. Use these to, enjoy a bit more comfort or scratch that itch if you need it. So these are all little things, floor to tile, ceiling to floor, that you just don't get elsewhere, especially at this price. And then you have the privacy for the toilet with the door there. So the property as a primary, don't think it's gonna be a problem to enjoy. You got everything you need. You're up here comfortably separated from everyone else. They're downstairs enjoying TV, whatever. in their rooms, but you got your deck. Enjoy mornings and evenings. Yeah. So then heading back in. Okay, now that we're done with that part of talking about it as a primary residence, here's how I would chop it up if I was going to get this as an investment. You still obviously need to make sure that these things would be okay with the local ordinance, essentially Ventura County, and that they're possible. But if I had this as an investment, I would keep the entire living room, dining, kitchen. This is all one space with one of the bedrooms. So I would keep it with this bedroom here. So this bedroom, it would be a one bedroom with all of this space to use. I would wall this off, this room here. This would be basically a studio. They would enter through here, through the bathroom. Again, that door's walled off. I would plumb in a kitchenette here. And then that way you can rent this space out. Insulate it, make sure that it's soundproofed. Then someone lives on this bottom section here. This is all of their bathroom. Then this gets walled off right here. So it's no longer Jack and Jill. That's just a single one right there, walled off there. Then I would wall this off. Make sure that all of this is soundproofed as well. Upstairs is the main attraction, but they would have obviously the view. You could probably charge a higher premium. But from there, what they would do is they would enter, come up to their residence. And I'm just doing this for show so you don't forget the amazing view. Keep that there. All of this, obviously you have the bathroom here. Below us is the garage. I would most likely put a kitchenette right here. So then they have use of that space. Bed could potentially go here, or you could figure some way to do it. Maybe you do the kitchenette here. But that way you get 3 units out of this. So you have 3 units that you could rent out, split this place up, make it like a triplex. The ingress and egress with the doors, the windows, everything would be proper. So yeah, so that's walled off, and then you just have all of this for the first unit. So as I'm editing this, I'm realizing that I probably wasn't being as clear as I needed to be in terms of how it's possible to divvy up the property the way that I'm talking about. And that's my apologies. You know, that's me just trying to beat the sun and get the rest of the video filmed, get back to my family and all of that good stuff. So when I'm talking about it as splitting it up into 3 units, it's through the lens that this is a house hack, which means that you're going to reside here as a primary residence. So you would purchase the property as a primary residence, which obviously has its own benefits with down payment amount and all of that. But you would take essentially unit number 1, that would be the regular kitchen and living room, the smaller of the bedrooms that's downstairs. That would be where you would reside. Now you could create the other 2 units, but when I talked about it being walled off, the county may not allow that, despite there being entrances and exits that go to the surrounding deck. They may want you to still have an entrance in and out of the home itself, or the primary part. And the reason that you would probably want to keep that is to make sure that you could allow this to be a home share style of an environment. So that way you're kind of not having to go into different permitting and things like that. So what you would do is like a Murphy door. So it would look like a bookshelf from the primary residence side. And anybody who's looking at it thinks it's just a bookshelf, but it's just a door. So you would have a latch that you can open up, and then it goes into either one of the rentals. So that's a way that you could kind of get around it. And, again, you got to check all this stuff with local ordinances, make sure that the county doesn't have anything preventing that. But that could be a possibility there. Now, if you're going to purchase this purely as an investment, so the whole property as an investment, the only way to get additional units out of it would be you use the current home as just a pure rental. Then if you wanted another unit within the current footprint of that area, you could either split off into one of the areas that I talked about, or you would do a garage conversion, and that would be a junior accessory dwelling unit. But you only get one junior accessory dwelling unit. You wouldn't be able to split it up in the way that I was talking about, because then you're creating density issues and things like that the county would consider being too impactful to the current residential area that it's in. Now, you could add another unit. You'd have to go elsewhere on the property, but you could add an accessory dwelling unit. Obviously you build that up, it's a whole new structure, and then that could also be a rental. So with that, you have 2 units. You have the ADU, the JADU, and then you have the house as another rental. So then there's 3. So that's a possibility too. But again, time and money, things like that. How can you make this work for you? That's why I'm spitballing and giving you the ideas on potentially how to split it up if you were going to purchase it as a house hack. Now, I did forget to mention during the orchard part of the video that this property is zoned as RE20, which gives you a ton of flexibility. There's potential for other income streams because it can be used as a horse property. So you could potentially board other horses for people and obviously get rental income from that. There's other animal husbandry that you could do there. You could also do other types of boarding, not just horses. So tons of flexibility with this property. If you look at price points across, the whole city, and you look at other people that are listed at around the same price point, there's nowhere near the amount of flexibility and opportunity that you get at this one. So hopefully this all helps, and back to the video. Well, thank you for taking this tour with me. I really appreciate it. Whether you use this as a primary residence or an investment opportunity, it's really just a great property to take in. You can obviously see how beautiful it is in the evening time. It's almost the same in the mornings. It's so set back on Buena Vista all the way at the end of the street. Because of the orchard, you're protected from the street that's on West Loop and Catalina. And it really harkens back to just what the Camarillo Heights is all about, which is peace, quiet, enjoyment, a little bit of rural setting. And if you're interested in this property, if you want to purchase it, it is a great rate. It's just under 1.5 million. And for all that you're getting, if you look at the comps in the area, this one's a deal. Aside from that, if you decide that you want to maybe rent the place, I have it listed at $8,000 a month. It would not include the orchard. It would just be the home itself, but you could still, enjoy the orchard, walk around it, and we could maybe work out a deal if you wanted to use the raised beds and the enclosure for the garden. Anybody who takes this property is going to do something special. I can guarantee you that. I hope that's you, and I'll catch you on the next video.